Hey, with that said, let's get down to business. This young man is no stranger to us. He hails from the San Diego area. He always has great knowledge and information, built a strong organization. I'm very proud of him. I flew down to celebrate his birthday, took his whole team out to lunch and sat by Miss Marie. And I don't think she watched that hand since, but anyway, look at her smiling. That's a good color on you, dear. I want to thank him for being who he is to his team and everybody's team that is on here, because we don't look at affiliation, who the organization. We love everybody. We want to see everybody succeed. And he has that same mentality. And he's a single father, and I have so much of respect and appreciation for him. Without further ado, the great, the one and only, Mr. Julian Lewis. Can we give him a hand, everybody?
Mr. Thomas, good morning.
Yes.
Good morning,
Good
everyone.
morning.
It's great to see all of you on here. I'm very excited to be with you, and I'm looking forward to actually going a little bit deeper into our conversation from the last week that I spoke. But Mr. Thomas, I really thank you for coming out here. I know the team enjoyed you being here and being able to kind of just peer into what it looks like when you've created a lifestyle that you decided you wanted versus one that someone else decided for you, and how that looks, the confidence, the ability to be there on the ocean, right there on the beach, and see the beach differently than a lot of people who live in San Diego have been able to see it. And it took you coming out here to kind of shift their perspective and show them what's possible. So I appreciate the words of wisdom, the vision casting, and the lifestyle that they were able to see. We can't talk about that in detail on here, but those of you that were here, you know what I'm talking about. So thank you again, Mr. Thomas. I appreciate that. And for all of you that are on the conference call, we're going to be talking about again, a little bit tapped into detail about systems versus goals. And this is one of the biggest things that changed my life. I mentioned it a little bit when I was talking about fitness and nutrition, right? What things got a little crazy for me because I decided to make a change. And the reason why I talk about the fitness and nutrition part is because I had to do a lot of research and I was confused. And what I love about ACN is there's a system. You don't have to do the research. You don't have to be confused. You don't have to pick it apart or figure out why, but you have to change the perspective of your mindset in order to get the results. So, when I first started trying to get into fitness, or first started trying to be fit, what happened was I had the wrong mindset. And so I had a mindset of most people, and most people's mindset is to what? It's like, okay, well, I have to start working out and it's going to hurt, but I need to keep going because I have a goal. I have to start eating right and eating stuff I don't want to, right? So, but I'm going to keep doing it because I have a goal. And what I realize is that's not sustainable. See, the reason why I'm in the shape that I am today and am not going up and down is because the issue wasn't the food. The issue wasn't my body. The issue wasn't working out. The issue was up here. It was in my mind. It was the way I thought about things. And the way I thought about things projected into my life the way my body looked. The way I thought about things projected into my life, the reason why I couldn't stop eating bad food. And so I'm going to share that and tap into that a little bit. And then I'm going to move it into how it works with ACN. See, I realized something. When I was working out in the beginning, I was listening to all these people who were telling me you just need to set a goal and have a strong reason why. And even though I did, the biggest mistake, the biggest thing that I missed was that hitting the goal, as great as it would be to hit the goal, hitting the goal is a fraction of a second. Meaning when I quote unquote arrive, that's a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of the time it takes to get there. So if the whole time that I'm trying to get there, I'm only focused on getting there, the problem is that I miss all the joy in the process. I want you guys to really think about what I'm talking about. So if I were to get to that result, so any of you that have ever been in shape where you were there and then you went right back It's because the process was grueling. You didn't like it. You got there and then you were unhappy. And so guess what happens? You go right back to your defaults. You go right back to who you are. And the same thing happens in ACN. So I want to let you know that the way I fixed it with my health is I had to break down and create systems that I enjoyed, so the process was enjoyable, and the process was the ice cream, and the goal was the cherry on top. I need you to understand it, because most people are waiting through the process for the ice cream and the cherry, and they're not getting any joy in the process. I've seen it with, and Mr. Thomas, I've seen it with RVPs and SVPs who they said, I'm gonna go all out. I'm gonna hate this. I'm only doing this once, right? And then something happens where they have to do it again, and people that were champions disappear. Why? Because they made it up in their mind that this is grueling. They hate it. I'm only gonna do it once. And so I'm going to get there and I'm going to deal with it. And when they get there, they hated it so much that if they ever had to go back to doing it, they can't get back to success in their business. So it's a shift in a mindset to understand that when you start figuring out your equation on how to love the process, everything changes. And so for me, what I started to realize is I love to solve problems. I love challenges. And how to figure out, my goal was, how do I figure out how to love this thing? And this is talking about someone who hated to run. I hated to work out. I hated the gym. I mentioned this earlier last week, Mr. Thomas. I said, there's nothing about the gym that I like. I don't like to hear people making weird noises when they're putting up weight. I don't like having to wipe off somebody else's sweat because they didn't do it. I don't like any of that stuff. The smell, Daryl Ransom, I can't stand the smell, right? And then when you start looking good, I don't like other people looking at me in the mirror. I don't want any of that stuff. So I realized something. The gym wasn't for me. It wasn't for me. And I had to ask myself, how can I do what I enjoy to get fit? And so I put together something at home that works well for me and challenges me, where I enjoy it more. And yeah, there's some pain that's a part of the process. Mr. Clemens knows I do some insane workouts. Some of you know that, but I enjoy the challenge. And because I enjoy the process, that means I have my bowl of ice cream throughout the whole process. And when I reach goals, when I break through plateaus, that's just the cherry. That's the extra. But the whole bowl of ice cream is my life. I enjoy it. And so in ACN, you have to adopt the same mindset. See, I asked all of you a question, simple questions last time I was on here. I said, how many of you can agree that it is extremely, and this is just a recap, it's extremely simple. Any of you that knows how to write can write a list from your social media. You can take the list from your social media and write it down on a piece of paper. How many of you can do that? How many of you can take a list from your cell phone contacts and write it down on a piece of paper, right? That's easy. How many of you can agree that saying out loud or texting, are you open to an opportunity, is simple? Can we agree that's simple? And we can all agree that saying, are you open to saving money? That's simple, right? Are you open to doing me a favor? That's simple. Any little way to tweak your approach is simple. But then why is it so difficult when people get down to actually doing it? Why is it so difficult to reach out to people and to look at that list and actually start calling the people? Why does it feel like your phone weighs 300 pounds? Well, it's because you haven't figured out a way you haven't figured out a way to embrace and love the process. For me, I had to incorporate some different things so that I started to enjoy the process. I started to make it a challenge because I like challenges. So I said, okay, how many people can I actually peak at first? And in the very beginning, I didn't do this, guys, and it was grueling. And so the way I did it in the beginning, I just did all out massive action. And when I was done, I said, I'll never want to do that again. And here's what happened. Because of the way I was taught, I didn't want to introduce anybody because I didn't want them to feel the pressure and how bad I felt doing the business. So I started to be counterproductive. And most people don't talk about that. Mr. Thomas, a lot of people don't call people because however they were treated when they joined the business, if they didn't like it, they don't want to say, here, do it to my friends too. So if that's the case, then you got to find a way to enjoy the process. And for me, it was a challenge. I started out talking to a few people a day, and it wasn't talking and piquing their interest. I had to get great at conversations. So I just started having conversations where I'd say, hey, like Mr. Thomas said, checking in on people. Hey, how are you doing? Like, what's going on in life? What's been up with you? And here's what happened. And I'm talking to the existing leaders. I want to be clear. If you're a brand new IBO, you don't have to do that. You just follow straight system, just systematic. But if you're been in the business for a while, you want to reconnect. How have you been? Are you doing anything for Halloween? Are you doing anything for the holidays? There's so many questions that you can ask naturally. Are you going anywhere for Christmas? Are you traveling before the end of the year? Do you have any big plans this holiday season? Right? All of these questions are great opening questions. And so what I got good at was actually listening to their answers. And here's what I started to do. I started to say, oh, wow, I could have inserted, are you open to anything when they said this? And so I started listening to their conversations different and seeing how naturally ACN can be inserted in just doing what I love to do, which is checking in on people. Does that make sense? So because I already naturally checked in on people on a regular basis, just to check in during the holidays, my mother used to do that. Old school. What did they do? They would send out Christmas cards. We would start to get phone calls from family members every holiday. This is a natural occurrence. And so what I started to do is, because we had social media, is I could connect with anyone at any time and ask them these questions. And so we would start to relate. Well, what are you doing for Christmas? Oh my gosh, we're doing the same thing. That's really cool. We start to connect. And then I would tap in something else. And I want to give this to you. Form, family, occupation, recreation, motivation, okay? Or money. So what I do is I reach out, we connect on that level. What are you doing for Christmas? What are you doing for Thanksgiving? What are you doing for the holidays? How's life been treating you? What's been going on during the situation? Is the job good? Those are just opening conversations. And then I talk about, well, they'll ask me what's going on with me. Well, I'm really excited. I started a project. And Mr. Thomas, I respect you so much. I need your eyes. I need you to evaluate what I'm doing so that I can get your opinion. And listen, guys, I'm going to tell you something about the opinion approach. The reason why I use it is not because I need Mr. Thomas's opinion. I don't need his opinion. The reason why I use it is because everyone loves to give their opinion. They are compelled to give their opinion. We live in my opinion, this is my opinion, right? We live in the most opinionated times ever. Ever in life. Guys, I grew up in the 80s, and yes, people were opinionated, but people didn't have the soapbox that they do right now, AKA social media. Everyone's profile is their opinion on life. Memes are people's opinions that other people agree with. People do arguments now with memes. And so if they're angry about something, they'll find a meme that justifies their argument and they'll post it up on a social media page. That's the new age passive aggressive. Okay. So they'll post it and people will say, oh my gosh, that's about me. And then they get angry. So people are battling opinions all day because they love to give their opinion. So when you reach out and you say, oh, Marie, listen, I need your eyes. You know, I respect you so much as a software engineer. And a friend, I value your opinion. I'm going to be talking about my project and I have an expert who is brilliant. This gentleman is brilliant and I'm lucky enough for him to be guiding me through this. He's going to be on there and I only have like 30 minutes of his time. Do me a huge favor. Clear your schedule for 30 minutes at 3 o'clock on Sunday. Clear your schedule for 30 minutes at 3 o'clock on Sunday. Did you notice that I didn't ask them, hey, could you make it? No, I lead with power. I lead with posture. I always have. I don't ask people questions like that. When you ask people questions, that's nonsense. Let me be really blunt. Is it okay for the rest of this call if I'm just really blunt with you? Do I have your permission? Okay. You're not a freaking customer service rep. A lot of you treat this business like you're a customer service rep. Oh, I don't want to, I don't want to be too pushy. I don't want to hurt my friends' feelings. I'm afraid that they might be upset at me. Like, well, what are you doing? What are you doing? I need you to shift your perspective. Okay? Here's the perspective. If you had the cure for cancer and every one of your people had cancer, would you be so, I don't want to, I don't know. No. If someone had cancer and you found the cure at 1 o'clock in the morning, you would be calling them at 1 o'clock in the morning saying, wake your butt up. I have the best news ever. My friend studied cancer, broke the code. They have the cure. I'm reaching out to you at 1. I wasn't gonna wait till 8 a.m. to contact you. You need to talk to this person who broke the code and got the cure. She's brilliant. And if you talk to her, maybe she can help you like she's helped my family. Are you getting this, guys? So the reason why you talk to people the way you talk to people is because you don't say this out loud, but you say this in your behavior. So I'm going to hit you right now, but then I'm going to hug you afterwards. So I'm not just going to punch you in the chest and leave you there. My job isn't to beat you up, but I'm going to hit you and then I'm going to hug you. The reason why you speak the way you do is because inside, you believe ACN to be a burden. Outside and on the call with leaders is lip service. It's the best thing ever. Yeah. No, if it was the best thing ever, you would speak with posture. If it was the best thing ever, you wouldn't be worried about inconveniencing someone and calling them on Sunday because it's family day. If it was the best thing ever, you wouldn't be concerned with a call at 11 p.m. You can apologize when you pick up hey man, I'm so sorry I'm calling you at 11 p.m., but I am way too excited and it could not wait. You will get more people booked in because they're like, I can't believe this dude called me at 11 p.m. And they turn to their wife and say, honey, something big is going on. Julian would never call at 11 p.m. and he called me freaking out. We need to see what's going on. That's the response you will get when you lead with posture. And so you're missing out on it to be nice. I'd rather someone love me and call me at 1 a.m. hyped up than to be nice. And I'm like, oh, this sounds weird. I don't want it. I hope you guys are getting this. And so it really is, here's the hug part. You don't have to stay that way. Once you have the realization, what I'm saying, you don't have to stay that way. You know ACN works. Mr. Thomas, every single week brings people on from different walks of life, different backgrounds, different religions, different everything that are winning big for their families. And ironically, they have a similar conversation, which means they were all trained. They were all trained. And you know what? With what we have on the table right now, the $700 bonus, it is so easy for people to get confidence right away. You can just push a little in the beginning and it's okay. The push is the posture. And what I want you to understand is when the push becomes posture, people see that as confidence. They don't see that in what you think it is being pushy. See, when I have confidence, people will be afraid not to follow me. When I have confidence, people love the push. And like I said years ago, it's fun pushing people in the pool. That's all we used to do. We used to get in trouble when we were kids. Everyone, I don't get it. You're dressed, you're a kid, you have swimming trunks on, and you're not in yet. What are you doing? If you were a part of our friends, you're getting pushed in the pool. If me and LaRon and Danny were all together, somebody's getting your arms, somebody's getting your legs, and you're getting thrown in the pool. This is just who we were. And guess what? It took that much time, a millisecond. Now everyone's having fun. And we love to look at you in slow motion in our minds while you get thrown in because we can see the angry face. But the moment you hit the water and you're up, you're smiling, laughing, and splashing. Sometimes it just takes people that know and love you to give you that push. And it's not out of anger. It's not because you're pushy. It's because once you get acclimated to the cold water, it only takes a fraction of a second. And now you're having fun and you forgot about the push. Does that make sense, you guys? So what I want you to do is really take a step back and start looking at ACN as a blessing, not a burden. Look at the environment that we're in right now. Look at what's happening. I explained this, mentioned this on a Friday with Mr. Thomas. In August, 4.3 million people walked off of their job without a plan. Let me say that again. 4.3 million people walked off of their job without a plan. And we can go into details as of why. Everyone has their own reasons. I know people that walked off because they were at home and they started to love the balance they had at home because they got to actually get to know their family. Go figure. They got to know their family. And then their company said, we need you back in the office. And we're going to subject you to testing every time you come in. And they're like, this doesn't even make sense. We're doing better as a company remote. And so they realized that their companies didn't care about them, right? And then there were some people that because of their philosophies on what's going on with this vaccine, they're upset that they can't believe people are for or against. because it's all the same thing. If you're afraid because you're for, or you're afraid because you're against, you're actually the same person. You just don't realize it. So you're arguing against the the opposite of yourself. That's gonna fly over a lot of your heads right now. So, but they're upset. So they're walking off. Where are they walking into? They should be walking into you. They should be walking into ACN. You should be able to show them an opportunity, what I said when this pandemic started, of a new norm that you can create. And disruption is good, because disruption allows you to create in a time where more people are open to it, because the old has been broken away. When the old is broken away, more people are open to new norms. And you see that with more people than ever before walking off their jobs. The jobs were the old, okay? And this has never happened before. So more people are searching and looking. You combine that, they're looking for you. You combine that with the fact that now the holidays are coming up, and people on during the holidays going towards the end of the year, what are they used to doing? Contemplating, reflecting on the year. This is going to be a different reflection, because after New Year's, 3 months later, this would have been 2 years of this stuff, okay? So we're closing in on 2 years of this situation. People are going to be thinking about that this holiday, reflecting on it, and they're going to be thinking, what can I do to get control over my situation? And with you reaching out, hey, what's been going on? How are things at work? Family, how's the family? What's going on? Are you doing anything for fun? Are you traveling? Or are you not? Man, what's your motivation lately? And if you're real close to them, man, how's money been? But you'll find out everything you need to insert. Listen, listen, I completely understand. I'm so excited, but I need your help. I need your eyeballs. I need both of them, not one, both of them, okay? What's going on? I need your opinion, man. I respect you so much, and we're in similar situations. And I launched a project, and I'm so blessed. I'm working with one of the top tier experts in this industry, and they're guiding me. She's brilliant. He's brilliant. But I need your opinion because I know you. And I'm going to be doing something for 30 minutes, launching the project on Zoom. And I need you to clear your schedule for me so that you can be there. And I need your opinion. Guys, you can do that with every single person, every human. I don't know about animals, but you can do that with every human and get a favorable response. So let's tie it all in, because I'm 4 minutes after and I'm pretty much done. Let's tie it all in. So what did I do? Well, I figured out a way that I could be me and get results following the system. And so what does that mean? That means what I told you guys last week. I found a way in the process to infuse who I am and what I love into the process. And now it makes the process enjoyable. One thing you got to know about me, I detest, Brian Baker knows this about me, I detest corniness. I don't like things that are corny. I've never been that person. I don't like corny humor. I don't like corny people. If you're corny, I won't be angry with you. I'll smile, but in my head, I'll say that person's corny. I don't like that. It's just who I am. I'm just telling you who I am as an individual. Okay. So the system is the system, but when I heard corny approaches to this system, it made me feel like I can't. So I had to find a way that it was organic, and it sat well, and it was an approach that the company said works well. And Tony Kupis said the opinion is the most powerful approach because everyone wants to give it. All right. And so by doing that, now everyone is open. Why? Because they're open to giving their opinion. But just don't forget, you don't need their opinion. You don't need it. What's going to happen is when they see the project, then you're going to be able to fall into one or three categories. Number one, you're ready to get started. Number two, you're interested and you have some questions. Or number three, you love the idea of saving some money and supporting the person that invited you on. And you can do that all day. And there's no limit to the amount of people you can contact because of social media and your contact lists. And those things keep growing, guys. So with that being said, hope that makes sense. Hope I fused in so you guys can kind of understand what I do, so I'm not hating the process and waiting for the whole bowl of ice cream and the cherry at the end. I'm already enjoying the ice cream. And when I reach the next level, that's just the cherry on top. Mr. Thomas, I will pass the call back over to you, sir.